Hey everybody, happy Monday morning. Welcome into your 15-minute weather. I'm meteorologist Courtney Aitken here on KARE 11 Plus. We are all missing John Ziegler. He will be back next week. For now, he is out. I am in. He's on a spring break trip with the family, which is very well deserved. So I got your forecast until he is back, and then we'll go back to the tag team. So I want to talk a little bit more about the last 12 hours because it's been interesting, right? We hit 60 degrees yesterday. That was the warmest day of the year. And look what happened. 9 o'clock in the evening. So it took us all day and then some, but we got to 60 for the first time this year. No records were broken. I think yesterday's record was in the 70s, so we were never going to break that anyway, but it was warm nonetheless. And when my alarm went off this morning, or maybe I should say in the middle of the night, we were in the mid 50s. It was pretty comfy out there, but during the morning program, we saw those temperatures drop into the mid 40s. Still not bad at all, especially for a March morning, but it did get a little bit cooler, and that tends to be the case. We always see the coolest temperatures of the day just before the sun comes up, and that is what we saw this morning. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday. We were not the only ones that saw unseasonable warmth. Look at Sioux Falls, 73. Omaha hit 75. We had 75 in Pierre. Rapid City, nearly 80 degrees. Maybe you don't need to go on a spring break trip when you can just go to Rapid City, almost 80. 60 here though, 59 in Faribault yesterday, 51 for Duluth, not a bad day there, 50 in International Falls. Again, this was yesterday, so our first 60-degree day of the year, and we're a little bit ahead of schedule. The reason I say that is because on average, we get our first 60 on March 29th, and yesterday was the 8th. So that puts us a little bit early, but it certainly happened a lot earlier. The earliest we ever had 60 degrees in the Twin Cities was February 15th back in 1921, and the latest we've ever seen 60 degrees was April 29th, all the way back in 1874. Yesterday does top the list of highest temperatures since January 1st, so 60 yesterday. Before that, it was 54, and that's happened a few times. It happened on Valentine's Day. That was actually the warmest Valentine's Day on record here in the Twin Cities. It happened again a couple days after on February 16th, and then earlier this month on the 5th, we hit 54. We've had plenty of days in the low 50s and of course a great deal of upper 40s. I think that we'll hit mid 50s today, so that'll probably tack on another one to the list. And then for the rest of the week, we are going to be in the 40s. So cooler, but still warmer than average. Our average high right now is 38 degrees. I want to give you a little bit of a peek at the longer range forecast. This shows us the temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center for the next 6 to 10 days. So this takes us just beyond the 7-day forecast, and we are showing a very clear trend here toward cooler than normal temperatures. You can see the colors here and then the legend on top. So we have a 30 to 40% chance here across Minnesota of seeing temperatures that are cooler than average. Now, we're going to start seeing that especially as we head into the weekend because high temperatures will drop into the 30s. Otherwise, it's been a very quiet morning. You can see there were some snow showers off to the north in Canada, but just passing clouds here locally. I want to walk you through our next couple of systems because it is going to be an active week. Today will be fine, but going into tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, every single day, there is a small chance that we get snow and even a little bit of rain in there too. There's an interesting temperature gradient for our day today. We're going to be in the mid 50s for the Twin Cities, low 60s down in Rochester, near 60 in Menominee next door, 50 in Luck, low 40s in Duluth. Not a bad day up there, but for the northern portions of the state, it's going to be chilly. 38 in Grand Rapids, only 34 in Bemidji, 29 in Thief River Falls. So for these areas, that north wind will pack a punch as we get into the back half of today. We will get a light northerly wind here in the metro, but it's not going to knock our temperatures down. If anything, 55 is still a pretty nice day for us here. So today, very mild, partly sunny. We'll see a mix of both, best of both worlds, clouds and sunshine. sunshine, and highs once again in the 50s. But for the upcoming week, or maybe I should say the rest of the week, temperatures will fall, and we have chances for not only snow but also some rain that could transition into snow. That looks like it'll happen on Thursday night. In the short term, here's tonight, clouds really thickening up for the northern portion of the state. We stay pretty clear to the south, and I think that beyond 10 o'clock we could see some light snow just passing on through places like Alexandria, and then between Duluth and the Twin Cities early tomorrow morning before the sun even comes up, we have a chance of some light snow. This will be in and out pretty quickly, but if you are an early morning commuter, it's not a bad idea to build in a little bit of extra time on your Tuesday morning. But as we get into Tuesday evening, that's when we have the better chance of impactful snow. So here we go into Tuesday afternoon. Clouds are thickening up, maybe even a couple of sprinkles, raindrops possible down to the south. But here is that snow. It really looks to pick up between 9 and 10 o'clock, especially out to the west and to the north of the Twin Cities. That's where I think our best chance for accumulation is. This does look to start to wrap up as we get into our Wednesday mornings. When you're getting ready to head out for your commute, the snow should be wrapping up at that point, but we could still see some lingering light snow here. And even if it's not snowing by the time you get on the road on your Wednesday morning, there is a chance that roads still could be slick. So this is something we're watching, especially because low temperatures this week are going to be dropping back down to near freezing and even in the 20s. So anything that does fall could be problematic on those roadways, especially for overnight and into the morning. Wednesday will trend drier into the afternoon. The sun will come out, but it'll be a cooler day with highs only in the 40s. How much snow could we see? In my opinion, I think it's a little bit too early to talk totals. I think that a lot's going to change, especially since there is just low pressure after low pressure after low pressure in the forecast. And what happens with each passing system is kind of dependent on the one that comes before it. So I think that there's going to be a lot of tweaking in the forecast. No giant changes, but we will have to make small changes here and there. But I do want to show you this. I think this is an interesting way of looking at it. This is kind of like a Venn diagram. Notice this dark blue here. That is our GFS, or the American model. And the American model says that we could get an inch plus of snow in St. Cloud, down through the Twin Cities, maybe even out to Wilmer and as far south as Jackson. Now the European model, that's the one in red. I don't know where I got that. I meant white. The one in white, that wants to bring an inch plus of snow down into Rochester, parts of Wisconsin, including La Crosse. And then where we have this other color, the lighter purple, that's the overlap. So that is where the American and the European models agree. It's kind of like the middle portion of a Venn diagram, the thing that the two have in common. And the agreement here is mainly for northern Wisconsin, but also for northern Minnesota. So I feel very confident in saying that northern Minnesota, you will get an inch plus of snow. But if you are south of St. Cloud, south of Brainerd even, it's a little bit more difficult to say how much snow accumulation we'll actually see. I'll take you through the 7-day, and we will come back to this within the next 5 minutes or so, but let's run through it quickly. 55 today. Dry skies. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds and maybe a north breeze, but that's about it for today. No issues. Average high is 38, so we are soaring above normal. Tomorrow morning, there could be some light snow, but the better chance is going to be in the evening. So that's why you see PM snow on your Tuesday. Also notice that your low temperature tomorrow morning is going to be a lot more chilly than what we had this morning. We're going to drop down into the mid 30s, mid to lower 30s, so that's pretty close to freezing. And then for our Tuesday afternoon, we're in the mid 40s. Wednesday, we could see some lingering light snowfall, but we become clear into our Wednesday afternoon with a high near 40. I am a little bit concerned about Wednesday morning with those roads being slick because low temperatures will be below freezing. On our Thursday, here we go again. Rain expected in the evening. That'll transition into snow overnight and into our Friday. And we could see some of those flurries lingering on our Friday afternoon, highs in the mid 40s. And even into the weekend, we are still going strong with those snow chances, and temperatures get even cooler into the 30s. Here is our time lapse from this morning. Sunrise was at about 7:30. And of course, that's a change because we sprung forward over the weekend. Still recovering from it myself, but the benefit is we see later sunset. So sunset tonight, for instance, is going to be at 7:11, meaning that we get the daylight for 11 hours, 35 minutes, and 1 second to be exact. But if that's not enough for you, and what I mean by that is I know some of you want the days to just feel longer, so less darkness in the morning. Well, think about it this way. We have got 11 days from now until March 20th. And on that day, it's the equinox. So we start to see equal parts daylight and darkness, if not a little bit more of the daylight. So we can look forward to that. Also on March 29th, which is 20 days away, the sun rises before 7 a.m. And finally, on April 17th, which is of course a little bit further out, the sun sets at 8 o'clock. Actually, after 8 o'clock if you want to be technical, but that happens on April 17th. Another way of looking at this, the spring equinox is on March 20th, so that is later this month. Sunset close to 7:30 at that point, and then by June 21st, that's the summer solstice, or the longest day of the year, sunset is after 9 o'clock, if you can believe that. So we are gaining more than 3.5 hours of daylight by late June. And in the interim, high temperatures also trend warmer. There's always going to be a little bit of fluctuation up and down, but generally speaking, by the end of May, our high temperatures are close to 70. By the end of June, closer to 80. And then July is our warmest month of the year on average, with the typical highs in the 80s. In the short term, pleasant Monday afternoon, highs in the mid-50s, and then we get cooler the rest of the week with a few chances for wintry precip really on any given day, with the exception of today. Today's pleasant. Average high is 38. We're shooting for 55. Winds will become northwesterly into the afternoon, and the sun came up today at 7:30. It'll be similar sunrise-wise tomorrow morning, but temperature-wise, a lot chillier than what we had this morning. So tomorrow morning, 33, pretty close to freezing. We're going to be in the mid-20s for Brainerd, 21 in Grand Rapids, 17 in Bemidji, 12 in Thief River Falls, and more of those low 30s down to the south of the metro. Tomorrow afternoon, we should be dry still at that point, but the snow moves in from the west after dark tomorrow night, so just be aware of that. Temperatures drop into the mid-40s for our highs tomorrow, and for those of you up to the north, high temperatures stay in at the lower 30s. Here's a closer look at the metro for your Tuesday. 45 in Blaine, 46 in South St. Paul tomorrow, 46 in Eden Prairie, 41 in Buffalo, 40 in St. Cloud. Here's the microcast. This is kind of a zoomed out view. You can see not a lot of snowfall expected for tomorrow morning. The bulk of it comes in after dark. You can see it approaching from the west with that area of low pressure. And as that all moves to the east, that could cause some pretty robust thunderstorms for places like Chicago. And if you're up toward Green Bay, that could even be a little bit of freezing rain before the entire system continues pulling out to the north and east. Here's what that looks like at the local level tonight. There's a chance that we get some flurries out towards Alexandria. Not really a lot of snow expected, if any. Like I say, the better chances are expected into our Tuesday evening with that system. And there it is. You can see from the Twin Cities up north all the way to just about Grand Rapids, for Duluth, the North Shore. We're all getting in on this snow. Could very well be an inch or two, and then it is gone as we get into Wednesday morning, but roads could be slick. We should see improvements into Wednesday afternoon as we start to clear out. And it is looking like models agree that at least for the northern portion of Minnesota, we get about an inch of snowfall. And we could use it because we haven't had a lot of snow. Our snowpack is sitting at just a trace, and we have to remember that it is still winter. On average in March, we can get more than 8 inches of snow, and then snowfall really tends to drop off as we get into the month of April. Okay, let's take one last look at your 7-day before I send you out to enjoy the rest of your Monday. And I do think you should enjoy it. It'll be a good one with a high of 55. Really, today is the pick of the week because it's going to be a lot warmer and a lot less active than the rest of the week. Tomorrow, chance for snow in the morning, better chance into the evening. In fact, that's looking pretty likely. Highs will be in the mid-40s. We get a little bit cooler into our Wednesday, and how much snow we get on Tuesday night could also impact that. And then Thursday, also looking active. So it's going to be an interesting week. Stay with us. We'll see you tomorrow.